the phone going to work?
Yeah, I deleted everything. That's what I did just then. I deleted stuff and cleared it completely, shut it down.
You ever thought that instead of going to Berlin, you could buy a new phone? It works?
That's not fun. That's not fun at all.
I'm just checking. All right. Hey!
Hello!
I'm Jack.
I went with hello today.
Yeah, I know. You're being very polite.
Robin.
Hey, hello. How are you?
We're the Inwits.
Yes, we are.
Man, we are back for
American.
episode 3. Yeah, went to American. The dust has settled on the Australian, and let's just ramp up the American season. Which is, I started watching it, and I was like, oh god.
Why?
Because Jack's going to mention how the Davids are criers, because within the first 3 minutes, we've got another teary moment here.
And even in the scenes for next week, we have teary moments. Right. They are criers, aren't they?
Oh,
they do like a bit of a cry. You know?
Look,
don't get me wrong, I don't mind a bit of a cry, right? But, you know, if you can live to 1 in 10 years, that's probably a good idea.
Oh, come on. I have a cry at least once a month.
Okay, once a month.
When I get on this show, I'm going to be crying more than that, just because of you. I'm just going to make sure I cry on that show so much more, just to spite you. So when we're doing the analysis when I get back...
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
All right. But they do like to have a cry every day, don't
they? Do. They definitely do.
But look, where should we start? I guess... I'm glad Goliaths went to tribal.
Yeah, I'm glad Goliaths went to tribal too.
It kickstarts them. They've been having a holiday.
How weird was that? Like, was it Jeremy? Jeremy went home.
Jeremy blew his game up.
Well, Jeremy blew his game up from the moment he's like, stopped talking to everybody
Exactly.
else.
As soon as he did that, it was gone. That was the moment. Boom. Everything else
Look.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe was that, and then he decided to follow it up with talking to everybody.
I know.
He's like, don't make plans, guys.
Yeah. And then,
I'm the only one that's allowed to make a plan.
But then he goes and interferes with Nathalie talking with people, right? But
I know. And then there was that.
Right? So I'm like, what are you doing? Back off! Shut up! Right?
I know.
But what I find interesting, when he was talking to Nathalie earlier in the episode, he says to her, have you ever watched an episode of Survivor?
I know.
And then I saw all this behaviour and I was like,
have you ever watched?
Have you ever watched? Yeah.
Because like he was claiming to be a super fan, and look, he probably is. But the funny thing was, he started, I think last week he was telling Nathalie to cool down.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah,
I know who I am, and he was trying to throw her a bone.
He was.
And that seemed like a legitimate thing to do.
No, he did a good job there, right?
But a day and a half later, what the hell happened? He's like, I tried to do this, I did that, you didn't listen to me. Yeah. And then he was the exact same. It was like just the female version.
Well, I don't think he was as bad as Nathalie, but I think his biggest step down was when he got them all together. And he's like, we all need to stop strategizing. I've seen you all going off and talking with each other, and you need to stop all that. Right?
And then he decided to strategize.
No, but I mean, just even saying that was enough, because all of them are like, looking at him like, they're all like, you know.
And they're all like, we actually weren't strategizing. We hadn't even thought of that. Because they're all like, we already knew Nathalie was going home. We're just having a good time.
Exactly, right? But even if they were strategizing, so what? What I mean is that Jeremy should have been sitting there going, okay, they're strategizing together. It's information, you keep it. You don't tell them and then say, don't do it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, and it's funny because it does become that. If they went to tribal 2 tribals ago or first tribal, it was a no-brainer. Nathalie was gone.
Nathalie was gone.
Because those early days is 100% tribe.
Absolutely.
Tribe unity.
It is.
But those few days in, and then yes, tribe unity is key. And maybe Nathalie will learn, because this time around it looked like it kind of sank in when it wasn't Jeremy telling her. It was the rest of the tribe.
No.
You don't reckon
at tribal she said,
it's in her blood.
I am open to constructive criticism. Remember that?
Yeah.
She's about as open to constructive criticism as Bear Trap is to becoming a vegetarian.
Yeah, right? But I reckon she's probably more inclined to be quiet now. She might be a bit more.
I liked what Dan said at the tribal. We're not your employees.
Yeah.
And that pretty much encompasses her attitude towards all of them. Is like, you do this, you do this, you do this, you know.
But, maybe it does take, that moment to actually... obviously she's not going to be very well liked, but she might be able to calm that bossiness down and just be a person and kind of get to know them a bit more, and rather than command things, obviously that'll probably still
that's going to be a major factor.
That'll creep out, but I think it's in the point now, like, I think maybe she could tone that down enough to, again, we can handle Nathalie. She's not a threat. She's not a threat. She's not a threat. And
see, one of the things that Jeremy did do was spread around that Dan had an idol, right?
Yeah.
The one major saving grace for Nathalie is she is so disliked by the tribe, right? When you have somebody like that, and you heard the girl who organised the vote against Jeremy say it, but she's so disliked, she's an easy out.
Yeah, whenever we want to get rid of her.
Whenever we want to get rid of her. The good thing about being an easy out is if somebody else is a bigger target, they'll always go the bigger target because they'll always say, but they're an easy out.
And it's those easy outs
creep through exactly
to the merge.
That's right.
And depending on how things go, because... And not that we had that in the Australian season, but when you do, even though, like, because Shane was never an easy out.
No.
She was very well liked. But when
no, not early on, she wasn't.
Not early on, yes, right. But that's what I'm saying. She managed to adjust herself.
That's right.
And then it became like that. Well, why do we need to vote out the 61-year-old?
Exactly. That's right.
Although Nathalie is a bit more, she's a bit rougher around the edges.
Yeah, she's a bit rougher. But if she tones it down from now on, like you said. And she just manages to skate on by because there's always a bigger
target.
She'll do fine.
Mm-hmm.
She'll do fine.
She could potentially make merge quite easily in this rate. Though we have a switch up, and maybe the switch up is even better for her, depending on where the numbers fall.
I think Jeremy's right on the money, though. You know, Nathalie has no friends on the Goliaths.
But I think Jeremy's forgotten that she'll also have no friends on the Davids.
But what I'm wondering about, and it's what you've just brought up. What if she does swap during the tribe swap, because it's next episode, right?
Yeah.
What if she tones down then?
Great for her game.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, because the other members from the other tribe are going to see different Nathalie, and they're going to wonder why the Goliaths. Why do they hate her, right?
Yeah.
And she can form bonds.
I still don't think her bonds would be super strong.
No, neither do I. But she could be part of an alliance.
She could definitely, yeah.
Because she can go to them and go, listen, there's 3 of you and there's 4 of them, but if I come over, and then she can make an alliance.
The same token I feel to Jeremy's disadvantage was she's got no alliances. Jeremy's playing so hard that as soon as he gets over there, he's going to be trying to hustle and get bonds over there, regardless.
That's what the girl said. Yeah, exactly. She said Jeremy will have no loyalty to us either, right? Yeah. And that's a fair point. But one of the things I did like was Mike White during this episode, right? He really liked Jeremy, really liked him. But he really showed how you play Survivor. He knew Jeremy had burned all his bridges. Yep. And he said goodbye to Jeremy. As much as he liked him, he still wrote his name down. Yeah. And he said goodbye. And he never ever said, no, don't vote Jeremy or anything like that. He's kept himself...
He's kept himself away from that.
Exactly.
He's like just disengaged from Jeremy.
Yep.
And has just not put any ties with that. Because it's one of those things when you watch someone... Like when you watch someone, firstly... When you've got someone who's an easy out, which she was, Nathalie was very easy. But then you have someone who's telling people not to strategize. And like is Dave, yeah? No, Mark?
Jeremy.
No.
Who? Oh, Mike White.
Mike.
Yeah.
So Mike's sitting there watching this, and he's a clever guy.
Exactly.
He's a very clever guy. Going, right, Jeremy is... Yes,
killing
I get
himself, as he said. He's his own biggest enemy.
He's told people not to strategize. People aren't... People are all responding to that with like, we weren't strategizing, we know who we're voting out. So that's always getting people off the wrong side. And then he starts to strategize. Yeah. Then you keep your ear to the ground and you're knowing people are starting to get a little bit, Jeremy's really annoying.
Did you notice the way, like, when Nathalie was trying to talk to Cara
and then that moment happens.
And then Jeremy comes on like, yeah, you can talk. And then he follows her when she goes to have the conversation with Cara, and Cara's just watching him like this.
Yeah,
what's going on?
What is this about? And we've seen something very similar.
Oh, look, I think we have. I can't remember.
We have seen something very similar, but it's like that's just again self-imploding. And it's not that Jeremy technically wasn't a terrible player. Like I believe he has strategy. I believe he was I believe he has watched the game. What I believe is paranoia just got the better of him, and he couldn't control.
There is one other thing I like to pick on with Jeremy. He said, we don't need to strategize yet. We need to keep the tribe strong because we don't need to until we go to council. And I think he's really wrong on that. If you're playing Survivor, you need to strategize well before you go to council.
Yeah, and obviously I guess you were talking, like, this was the theme of why the champions were so, they were so complacent, and why it was champions, because they never had that that thing. I don't think that was Jeremy's intention. I think Jeremy's execution of what he wanted to achieve by saying that just wasn't correct. Like, I think he wanted to keep control, and he wanted to be able to control where the strategy was going. He was trying to keep people.
It's very difficult to do that.
Because the thing is, like, when he says, exactly, it's very difficult to do that with 8 people. But when he's saying we don't need to strategize, we get the next cut of him strategizing. He wanted to keep control, and he wanted to make sure people weren't.
The only problem I have with that is when you make it public like that. No, you've all got to stop strategizing, and you put them off stuff. And basically, you're saying to them, you got to stop playing your game.
Yeah.
No one's going to receive that message very well.
Yeah, and so I legitimately don't think he meant, like, he was strategizing. That was his strategy to try and make
really
people.
Bad one.
Yeah, it was a terrible one. I agree with you. It was rubbish. It was absolute ridiculousness. I would never be like, we shouldn't be strategizing until we go to tribal. No, it's too late then.
Exactly, it's too late.
So I think his way of trying to manipulate people into do what he wanted, that was a terrible way of doing it.
Oh yeah, his idea was we got to keep the tribe strong by not strategizing.
Yeah, the idea is no, keep the focus on Nathalie.
Yeah, that's
the only. That's all he needed.
Well,
to
this
do.
is the thing. If he had just sat back, gone fishing, and talked to Mike and told Mike, they're all strategizing. If he had invented to Mike, he'd still be there.
And gone, okay, what do we reckon we need to do? I want to get rid of Nathalie. Let's keep this vote easy.
Let's keep the focus on Nathalie, right? Yeah. He could have said to Mike, let's keep the focus on Nathalie.
And then go off, have other one-on-one conversations.
Exactly.
And string them all together. And then go, once you've had your conversation with this person, then you can start to go, you have a conversation with these two. And then you can start bringing them together and starting to unify your majority vote, or keeping the vote on Nathalie.
Look, I didn't think much of Mike till this episode.
Okay.
Right? But he actually established a real connection with Jeremy. Well, I like that, right? Yeah. But the thing is, Mike's kind of floating now. He doesn't...
And I was like, I know, and I wanted to mention as well, I know you said you liked how Mike disengaged from Jeremy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is that just... we've seen it before. I don't have an example off the top of my head, but is that just someone not having any power at all? And where does that leave Mike? I don't think it puts him in a bad situation in the slightest.
He's just basically put his hand up and go, I'll do what you guys want to do.
Yeah,
which means he's one of the crowd, right?
Yeah, but I think I think Mike's probably got enough. He's switched on enough to maneuver around that.
I think Mike's going to play a Sandra game here.
Okay.
All right. I think that's his strategy, because look the way he teamed up with Jeremy. It wasn't kind of like, me and Jeremy are best buds in front of the tribe, and he used to just go fishing with him.
Yeah, and he liked Jeremy.
And hung around with Jeremy,
and stuff.
But he's not firmly associated with Jeremy. Like, during all the strategizing, we never heard, but we can't tell Mike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even though he's associated with Jeremy, he never went that deep.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try and play a Sandra game where he's a vote.
Okay.
And as long as it's not him.
I reckon he's just lying dormant, and he'll start to strategize a bit later on. I think
maybe he will.
I feel like he might turn into a bit more Dave-esque as he goes on.
I just think
that season with Dave versus
I just say I guess he hasn't really established another relationship with anyone.
Well, yeah. But at the same token, he hasn't put himself out with anyone. And so,
exactly. That's right.
So I don't.
That's what I mean. He's put himself in the position where he's always available for a vote.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go, but he's strongly tied with.
Yeah.
Everybody knows they can still come to him, make a deal.
And I reckon that the big funnel that he has will narrow, and then he'll be working with only a
definitely
couple
by merge you'll have,
depending on how many shake-ups we get, how many swaps.
Unless he is as smart as Sam, we can keep doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
I gotta question John though. Like, after all this, even after all this blow up,
Slamtown,
Mayor of Slamtown, right? Why do you still want to work with that? I can understand the reasoning, right? In the sense of, like, you want to get her the final 3 because she's getting no votes, right?
Mm.
And I also understand the reasoning as a shield. Like, Nathalie's a fantastic shield, but the problem is she ain't.
Nathalie's an Abby Marie.
Yeah, it's not going to last long.
Like, you know, you've got...
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point.
Obviously, in the same, like, Abby Marie was so disliked.
Yeah.
And people wanted to use her as a shield.
Yeah.
But this is, again, another thing, the beauty of the game is, like, yes, obviously can take them to the end and I will beat them.
Yeah.
But it's so much hard that, you know, it's so hard, like, that they become this massive anchor that you're pulling along, and you're dragging this heavy log.
And that's why my question is, what the hell is John doing? Because at this early stage of the game, he can't be thinking, I can drag her all the way. So what's he seeing that nobody else is seeing? Or is he just picking on like the lone? Is he just picking on the loner because he knows that she has no support and she has to go with him? I don't understand the strategy that John's displaying here.
Is there strategy?
Well, that's a good question, because if you look at Mike on the other hand, right? Mike's seen Jeremy implode and gone, yep, okay, time to get lost, right?
And I'm not trying to be judgmental on Slamtown. But, you know, maybe he's not even thinking like that. And you know what? He might see what, you know, someone who is bossy like Nathalie may piss off 90% of people. But he comes from a world that's like full of ego. He comes from an ego-driven wrestling world where, I mean, he's named every one of his 6 abs. You know, like he's got a name for each of his muscles. And he probably kisses his biceps to sleep.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he's not thinking.
Like maybe the bossiness doesn't annoy him as much.
Maybe it doesn't. But my question then has to be that you've got to look at. I'm always on about, you know, you got to look at who you're going to team up with. Who can I work with? Why can I work with them? Are they going to be good for me? And Nathalie doesn't tick 2 of those boxes.
Yeah.
Is she going to be good for me? No.
Probably not.
Right? Can I work with her? Probably not. Right? Like he might get some concept. Yeah. So what's the point?
But maybe it was the fact that she doesn't disrupt my life at tribe camp as much as someone else does.
Yeah,
and I'd rather stick with Nathalie. That could be it, because I just think that's I think someone who is more disliked.
Yeah.
Yes, someone who is disliked, like say a Brian from last season.
Yeah.
You can take him to the end, and he's also taking himself to the end.
Yes.
But you can go up against him because he's disliked and wants to fight. But for someone who is so disliked. Like, you know, your Abby Marie style dislike to take them that far.
Wow.
It's just, it ends up like, why do you want to keep this person? I hate her. I hate her. I hate her.
It's almost like you could walk in the tribal at that point and go, oh, look, I'm not going to talk about my game and what I did to get here. What I'm going to tell you is I managed to get Nathalie here. And at that point, the whole jury should go, actually, that's amazing. Yeah. We're going to give you $500,000. We're going to give you $1 million at that point. Because that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, because everyone wanted her gone.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I wanted to go up against her.
It's all right, That would be you would pay for that.
You'd almost give that.
Right.
Give a mil for that.
But, so, I don't know, but, what was I going to say? I guess we should talk about the...
Bit of David's.
David's, right? I really like Nick. He's thinking
Mason Dixon, Nick.
Yeah. I really like the thinking he displayed in this episode, because he went out there entirely with the intention of making sure Abby got picked for why Jess went home.
Yeah.
And he is spreading that
Gabby,
around.
Was it Gabby?
Yes.
Gabby,
right? What Gabby gets picked for wearing the, Jess going home thing. Mm-hmm. And he has spread that really successfully. And when he explained why he was doing it to camera, it was perfect. It was like, Gabby's got influence with Christian. Yeah. I don't want that, because I want to be his number one.
Yeah.
She has to go. And it's perfect. It's great survivor thinking.
Yeah.
He's doing a really good job too.
Yeah, because at the same time, it's like, yes, they could be a 3.
Yeah.
They could go all the way to 3, final 3. But let's be honest with that.
No,
does a final 3 always get there? No.
No. That's right.
So you are, and we say this quite often, a 3 is nice to have, but the ideal is to have one person. So you've got the 2.
Exactly.
So you've got the 2 that you can trust and work with, and this Mason-Dixon alliance, if that can go all the way or continue to build strength, not too shabby.
And I also like the way Christian was talking about the Mason-Dixon alliance being in the middle.
Yeah.
He's got the Jess and those 3 over there, and he's got Gabby and that over there. Yeah. But they're in the middle. They're the ones making the power plays.
And it depends on how he sees it. He also has that he does have that power if he uses it to bring Gabby in. It depends,
exactly.
but I guess why Nick could also be worried because that. Yes, he's got a close tie with that, and if he keeps it like that, great. But if he takes it that little bit further and becomes closer with her than he is with him,
Nick, that's the problem. And Nick wants to get rid of him. That's why I really like the thinking of Nick.
Yeah.
I wasn't too happy with Nick on the first day when he said, "Oh, I don't want to waste my energy expending."
Yeah.
But his thinking's good.
Nick's come around pretty good in the first 9 days.
Absolutely, he's in the middle. Mm-hmm. He's got a good alliance.
And he's
Christian.
not. Yeah, he's in the middle. And this is obviously we've been talking about this. In the middle is very powerful if you put yourself in the middle.
Yeah.
If you're the last one not picked on the school team,
that's
you're
not
in the
good middle.
It's the worst middle to be in. Yeah, I'm the swing vote. That's so powerful for me. You're the swing vote because no one wants you.
Exactly, and you usually only last one swing vote at that stage because then they go, "Oh, hang on, you're a swinger. Bye."
But if you're legit in the middle because you have good relationships with certain people, you can play that. We've seen it played. Difficult. Sarah's done that. It's hard to do to play it consistently forever because obviously you've got ties on both ends. When you start to screw over one,
that's right.
It's like they are going to hate you now, and then you can't instantly.
You got to manage that.
You can't instantly flip back to the other because then these two get together and say you're the flipper.
Right.
It's a tricky really situation, but if you can do it well, it's a great place to be.
That's right. Well, ultimately, if you can do it, you can control the game. You are literally in control.
I suppose the best way to do that. What would be the best way to do that? The best way to be in that position.
I think Nick and Christian's doing it well because nobody's actually picked Nick and Christian together at the moment.
Yes,
they're really covered up.
From what we're seeing, they haven't been picked.
That's right.
Yeah, but that, as you know, will start to shine a bit more. But maybe you know what? Maybe it is because this Gabby being this slight attachment to Christian doesn't make these two stand out, and getting rid of Gabby could then actually detriment Nick by making them see more of a power couple.
It depends because also let's not forget. I'm not sure if Nick. We didn't get any evidence of it, but Nick's also made alliances with other people, right?
Yeah.
Like the girl, they were the Steers or something, right? So if he keeps working that, like we are in an alliance.
But his true alliance is
with Christian. I think he can still really cover it up.
Yeah, could be pretty good. However, if I just get the feeling knee brace, she'll be out. She's an easy vote now.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. On the Davis, I don't know who's an easy vote at the moment, except like Nick's doing his hardest to get Gabby out.
Yeah,
But who's the easy vote on David?
I just think once she, I don't know her name, but that's why I called her knee brace. Once she sprained her knee, and then she gave a little thing where she's done her knee in MMA.
Yeah, that's true.
And now she's strained it.
Yeah,
it's a liability, and yes, she might be their strongest, but at the same time.
Usually a physical injury that stops you performing in challenges is usually pretty much good night.
Yeah, although all this is irrelevant, really, isn't it? Because next week's a swap.
But
do the lines stay David Goliath, or do they blend?
Well, this is the thing. Normally, when we've seen a swap, and it's amazing, but you usually get one or two people go from one tribe to the other.
Yeah, it's always one's on the out.
Yeah, one's
one
on
just got the lower numbers.
Exactly. At this stage. Well, look, the good thing is that the tribe swap at the moment, there's only one difference between the tribes, right? So it's not, but I still think it's going to be like two people from David will go over to Goliath, and two people from Goliath will go over to David, and that'll be it.
So I guess, but sometimes that's when the most interesting things can happen, when those two people are on the out and manage to, that's a shunny incident, completely on the out,
absolutely.
Got her way in, and we see that, and there when things can really start to play out, which is really enjoyable too.
Oh, look, we could really see a game develop. That's where they develop their game based on.
But it's going to be, I guess, it's going to be interesting to see if I was about to say champions. If Davids and Goliaths stay strong,
I don't think
they blend. And do they blend because we're seeing obviously the big differences between the Australian and the American version?
I think the Goliaths are like the contenders in the Australian version. They're much more willing to play an individual game. Mm-hmm. I think they'll be happy to blend with the Davids. I think the Davids are going to be the gluey ones that want to stick together.
Because they feel like they have to, because they're
Exactly.
Though the win might change, like if they were if they'd lost 3 in a row, and then it was what maybe they do want to try and stick together because that's all they just get picked. We'll just get picked off.
And they're having a bit of a cry together, so they always bonds them. So
What else do we have? What about the challenge?
Oh, actually, one thing before that, I didn't see any real evidence of it, but the 3 girls manipulating the 3 guys on the Goliaths.
Yeah, that didn't really come into play today.
It did. I didn't see a lot of it, but I think it's still there, and I think it's still going on. There. I think they used them for this vote to get rid of Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you see, this is the thing. One of the girls wanted Jeremy gone. One of them wanted Nathalie gone. The 2 girls went head to head there.
But
so that's why
she changed to Jeremy.
This was what I was thinking. I was like, obviously, because it was so straightforward, it had to have been decided before.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know where that happened because she was so gung-ho about Nathalie. And then watching the tribal, I'm like, yeah, you can't. Like when Jeff said, that wasn't being thrown under the bus. That was being thrown under like 5 semi-trainers.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is and that's was like, as I was watching, I was like, you're just ruining if you had a chance, which he clearly didn't prior to this, because there was it was 1 vote Nathalie, everything else Jeremy. But if he had a chance prior to this, that was the nail in his coffin, because you are taking things out of the game. Yeah, you are going a bit more of a personal attack, and that's really not something people like.
No, that's true. But no, I think, the girl initially said, no, I'm voting Nathalie. But I think the other girls just talked to her and said, and I think she's the one that dragged the guy over. Whatever his name is. I've forgotten their names already.
It's early in the morning. But you're doing better than I am.
Yeah. So, the challenges.
What do you think of the challenge?
Yeah, it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad challenge.
No, it was a good average Survivor challenge. Drag a thing. Like, it had several elements.
Yeah, and 3 separate things. And
it wasn't just about strength. It wasn't just about speed. It was about coordination.
Well, yeah, because it was funny because I was like, oh, we've got the standard pyramid puzzle. And I guess...
Actually, I expected... One thing, I actually expected Christian to blitz it.
I legitimately thought they would do that puzzle faster as well. Because
I thought he would see the 4 pieces and go, boom, boom, boom.
So did I.
Like that.
But that's like you said, he worked on slide puzzles, not puzzles. He's good at puzzles, but obviously the slide puzzles is his game.
Yeah.
I just thought with the pyramid puzzle, like I can go down to Phillip Island and there's a place down in Phillip Island that has the pyramid puzzle. And I say this now, I should be doing that. I should be going there and working it out. But it's like we've seen this pyramid puzzle quite often. It's pretty much the same puzzle. Yeah, I feel like it is.
Oh, that pyramid puzzle that they do, right? All you've got to remember is the bit that doesn't have a flat bottom is actually the top bit.
And then once you put them together...
So all you have to do is put them together so that top bit slots in and you're done.
So it's from what I know, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but I feel like that's always an easy puzzle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But tricky if you've never done it before.
Of course. Right?
And I was the same. I thought that, but I was like, oh, it's even. Yeah. It was even.
It was actually. It was really even.
This puzzle be.
Yeah.
Like they,
That's why I thought Christian, they were going to win, because I thought.
I was with you.
Yeah, I was just like even.
Yeah, and I thought this puzzle. I'm like, oh, we've just got the pyramid puzzle. This puzzle will be over in 30 seconds. That said, being even, it was always going to be that David's going to win. I just think I think they're obviously a stronger puzzle competitors.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Yeah. But I was just like you. I was just surprised it took them the time it took. You know? That's all. Yeah. So what else is it?
It's really all. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. So neither can I.
Not much strategy. Like I said, only that little bit with Nick and that side of things, and that's all.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
That's all we got today.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. we kind of finished on a lame note there, but anyway.
I know. We really just kind of petered down. What happened there?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, so am I. Oh, always.
Always, yeah. But it's great. So we'll be back next Saturday, Sunday. When do you get this up?
I'll put it up. Tomorrow.
Yeah, so you will see us on Sunday.
From now on.
We'll see you next week.
Time.
Bye.